Dear students, today we will study about our next part of our syllabus, that is lichenology. And coming under this part of the syllabus, first we'll study about the general characteristics or diagnostic features of lichens. And coming to the definition of lichen, lichens are actually dual organisms or entities which contain a permanent association of fungus, that is mycobiont, and an algal component, that is phycobiont. That is, from this we can understand that lichens are composite, slow growing and long living organisms. Okay, there we can see a symbiotic association between this algae and algal component or fungal component. That is, it is a permanent association between a fungus and a green algae or a cyanobacterium, that is blue-green algae. So, the two different patterns are living harmoniously together, and for our convenience or for to study about the lichens, we can distinguish or divide the two components as mycobiont and phycobiont. That means mycobiont means it is the fungal partner of lichen, and the algal part is called phycobiont, and they live in very close association. That means they are very closely living and appearing as a single organism. Some algal components can exist in nature as free living species also, but the fungal component is found only as a part of lichen. Some species, that is, some species of this phycobiont or algal component is living only in this lichen association. Clear? So the algal partner is mostly a green algae or cyanobacterium, that is blue-green algae. I already explained about that. So the term lichen was actually given by father of botany, that is Theophrastus, that is in 370 and 285 BC. Okay, so from that period itself, it is this particular association. It is not clearly known, but lichen, it is not a normal plant. It is a example of such mutual benefit, mutualism or symbiotic association is already known. There are about 400 to 500 genera. Nearly some, we can assume that it is 400 genera, and nearly 15,000 species of lichens are recognized. And the cyanobacterial algae additionally takes part in nitrogen fixation. Okay, it is actually doing that function also. So the algae picks up water and mineral salts from the fungus, while the fungus obtains part of the food manufactured by algae. That is the mutual benefit. That is of course this algae, they are the autotrophic organisms, so they are able to do photosynthesis or carbon assimilation. So it is that part is giving food to the fungal part. And therefore in a lichen, the association between algae and fungus is that it is a mutual benefit, that is mutualism, and popularly it is called symbiotic association. So this is a actual photograph of the microscopic photograph of the section of lichen Thallus. That is, here we can see that green colored part is the algal layer, and all other part which is colorless, it is the fungal part. So like this it is living harmoniously. And then next part of our discussion is the fungal partner, that is a mycobiont. Actually what is the help or the part of its duty which is giving to the algal part? Okay, that is, it will send hostoria into the algal. It is actually doing absorption, that is, it send hostoria which are absorbing hyphae into the algal cells, then induce algae to secrete organic substances, and prevent the algae to develop pectic covering, because the algal cells are completely exposed to the hyphal mass of the microbiome. Therefore, some workers believe that the fungus is a controlled parasite over algae. And this phenomenon is called helotism. Okay, it is not a symbiotic association, it is helotism. Some scientists, they are having that opinion that actually this fungal part, that is microbiome, is actually a controlled parasitic activities it is giving to this algal component. Despite the knowledge about the algal and fungal components of a lichen and their mutual relationship, it has not been possible till now to create an artificial lichen. That's why it is all these are opinions. Still, it is in hypothetical level. Okay, so it is. I explained here that opinion is a part of just extra knowledge about the lichen. Okay. Then relationships of lichen, we will discuss in detail about this, how this mutualism is actually occurring in the lichen's body. That is, body structure and covering is that is, what is the functions of the fungal partner or microbiome. That is, the fungal partner is giving the body structure and covering, and it is doing the anchoring, and it is absorbing water and minerals, can absorb water from wet air, dew and rain. So minerals are picked up both from substratum and atmosphere. Special chemicals are excreted by the fungus partner of the lichen to dissolve minerals from the substratum. So the major function of algae is photosynthesis. So algae is giving food. Okay. Then wherever we can see this lichens. So lichens occur commonly on tree trunks, base rocks, old walls, roof of the house, in hill regions and bases of their habitat, and they have been classified into saxicolous lichens and corticolous lichens. That means saxicolous lichen occur on stones or rocks, while the corticolous occurs on bark of the trees. Here we can see this first one, it is the which is inhabiting on the rock. Okay, sandy rocks, that is saxicolous, but here we can see this both lichen is growing on the bark of the tree. Then it is, that group is called corticolous. Okay. Now, on the basis of the occurrence, lichens can be classified into two types. What are they? Saxicolous lichen and corticolous lichen. Then next we will study about its body, plant body. So it is also actually the second mode of classification we can consider. That is on accordance with the vegetative body or thallus of lichen. We can classify them into different categories. So lichens are the thallus-like bodies, variously lobed and flat or sometimes cylindrical or erect structures of various colors, nearly green, light green, pale green, and orangish yellow, brown, all color variations we can see. So on the basis of their form, following 5 categories of thallus organization of lichens are reported by Hansworth and Hill in 1984. Okay, how many types? 5 types. First one, it is leprose lichen. Okay, and leprose lichen, here we can see this leprose lichen, and here it is very pale green, and here it is yellow but scanty growth. Okay, so that is, what is this leprose lichen? So in the simplest form of thallus organization of lichens, the fungal hyphae envelop either one or very small number of algal cells. So that is the main difference. That is, in leprose lichen, the algal component is very limited. Okay, so the so formed simple lichen thallus develops superficially over the substratum. Here and there only we can see very scanty growth. So why it is like that? Because the algal component is very limited. Maybe maybe we are considering the evolutionary line of lichen. This may be the first formed one. So this here that symbiotic association is there, but this autotrophic partner, that is algal partner, is very limited. So the growth is also very meager. Clear? And the example is Lepraria incana. That is the example of leprous lichen. Okay. Then next is crustose lichen. These are very closely adhered to the substratum, but see this, we can see somewhat massive structures on some substratum like rock, bark. Everywhere we can see this in our area, in our climatic condition also we can see the presence of this crustose lichen. So these are very closely adhered to the substratum on which they are present and give a crust-like. That's why the name crustose, crust-like appearance. It is very difficult to separate them from the substratum. Okay. But we can see this root rhizoid-like structures are developing, and some special absorptive structures are there, but we are if we are using a sharp instrument also, we can't detach fully from the substratum. So this crust-like, for example, Graphis crypta, Lacidia, Verrucaria example. Try to remember one name. Okay, so that is crustose lichen. So here it is the drawing, pencil drawing, that is rock surface, that is crustose lichen. It's a crust-like structure. Next, third category, it is foliose lichen. Foliose, itself, the foliose, the word meaning of foliose is leaf-like. So thallus in this lichens is flat, leaf-like, well-branched, attached to a substratum with the help of rhizines or root-like structures. Example, Fiscae, Physia, Parmelia, Peltidia, example, etc. And suppose this particular thing we can take a transfer section and view under microscope, and we can see the algal component and fungal component as well. So such type of lichen, that is, these are flat, broad, much lobed and leaf-like or scale-like thallus, which is loosely spread over the substratum. So they often resemble a twisted leaf or a crinkled or dried leaf. The thallus attached to the substratum by using this attaching or anchoring organ, that is rhizines, that is rhizoid-like structure. So it grows mostly free from the substratum. So this is a structure of this third level of lichen body organization, that is foliose lichen. And fourth one, it is fruticose lichen, and these are the most conspicuous type of lichen. In them the thallus is slender, much branched and shrubby, and it is showing a well branched system, and which are generally erect or sometimes prostrate. Here two examples are here. This Cladonia species is actually erect one, and this is the Asnia, that is, it's a pendant form. From the branch, tree trunk, it is, here we can see this pendant form, and this from branch leaf, that's it is a twig area of a tree, and it is attached with the rhizines and hanging down. See this, and this is the Asnia, and this is actually the very conspicuous type of lichen, fruticose lichen. Because why it is named as fruticose? At the time of sexual reproduction, it is producing fruiting bodies. Okay, so this sexual reproduction is actually done by the fungal partner. So it is, here we can see this apothecium, see this. So that's why it's named fruticose lichen. And fifth one, that is the filamentous lichen. So in some lichen, instead of fungal, the algal partner is more developed. Okay. Such algal partner of the lichen are filamentous and remain ensheathed or covered by only few fungal hyphae. Such lichens are filamentous in appearance. So it is maybe evolutionary line, it is the most developed or developed one. That is, here we can see this algal partner is more. See, this is 1 mm size. See this, it appears as filamentous structures, and here we can see this brown colored filamentous form. This is also the fifth type, that is filamentous lichen. So it is also by this Hill and Hangsworth. Examples, here the second photograph, this one is actually this Rhacodium species. Cystocoleus is there, Cynogonium, and these are the well-known 3 species coming under this filamentous lichen. So this, the classification on the basis of the structure of its body. What are they? That 5 types. That is, first one leprose, then crustose, foliose and fruticose. Then last one, that is filamentous lichen. So this filamentous lichen, remember here the algal partner is more than the fungal partner. Okay. So next classification, we are going to study the anatomy of lichen. Suppose we are taking the cross section of fruticose lichen or the foliose lichen, we can get a thallus organization like this. Here we can see the upper cortex and the cortical region all are given by this fungal partner. Then there we can see an algal zone. Then internally we can see prosenchymatous part, that is the medulla region, and the last one, that is the rhizoid like structures. It is also produced or formed by the mycobionte or fungal partner. Here the root like structures are called rhizines. Okay, that is, upper cortex is very thick protective layer made up of dense closely interwoven pseudo parenchymatous mass of fungal hyphae. Then algal zone consists of blue-green algae or green algal filaments, Cyanophyceae or Chlorophycean members. Okay, nostoc, Glossicapsa, like that, Chlorella, Rivularia, all are the examples of this algal component or phycobionte. Then medulla forms the central region of the lichen. It consists of loose mass of fungal hyphae. Lower cortex forms the lower surface of the lichen and which forms the root-like structures for absorption and which are called rhizines. Rhizines may ask for one more question. So it is the part of the, what is the answer of rhizines? So it is the part of lichen which is formed of the mycobionte used for absorption and anchorage. That may be the answer. So it is composed of densely packed hyphae. A crustose, suppose we are taking a crustose lichen, we can get a structure like this. There we can see the internally differentiated into cortex, algal zone and medulla. Some hyphae of medulla form pointed rhizoids. Here we can see the rhizoid. Actually this later forms rhizines. And from this internal line diagrams, we can see one more type of classification, that is on the basis of anatomical structures or internal structure, the lichens can be broadly classified into 2 types, that is homeomerous lichen and heteromerous lichen. Okay. This may sometimes asked for 2 marks question, that is homeomerous lichen and heteromerous lichen. That is, in homeomerous lichen, the algal and fungal components are arranged and that is, in homeomerous lichen there is no definite area pattern for algal partner. It is most probably we can see without forming a distinct cellular layers. We can see the both algal and fungal components are distributed. It is uniformly distributed. That is the first figure, and here and there we can see loosely arranged fungal hyphae, and it is intermingled with the algal cells. Okay, but in case of this heteromerous lichen, we can see a definite pattern is followed. That is in heteromerous lichen. So algal and fungal components are arranged in distinct cellular lines. Here we can see a particular algal zone is there. So such an arrangement is called this heteromerous lichen. See, this is the third category of classification on the basis of internal organization. Okay, and that is heteromerous lichen and homeomerous lichen. Okay, so this is as part of general introduction of the lichen, just I included this apothecia. See, this the classification of, that is the fruticose lichen. There we already studied about the fruiting bodies, and here in lichen the fruiting body reported is an apothecium. Suppose we are taking a section, we can see it. In fungal part we already studied this type of apothecium in Precisa, and like that here we can see slight modification, slight shape change only, otherwise all are same with that normal apothecium. So apothecium is cup shaped body. In the cavity of cup are present many ascospores. Here we can see this asci, and inside this we can see 8 ascospores. Other structures of the internal organization are same that of the vegetative thallus, but here we can see the only difference is here we can see the algal zone. So it is a heteromerous lichen. So here we can see a separate algal zone is there. That is the only difference with the apothecium of fungus and apothecium of lichen. Okay. Then it is only a general aspect related to the reproduction, because we have to study the thallus study of the type study, that is asnia. We should study later after the introductory class. So this is a particular general information related to the reproduction. So reproduction we can see normally it occurs by means of four ways, that is progressive death and decay, then fragmentation, then isidia formation. Isidia are superficial outgrowths of the lichen which are primarily meant for increasing the surface area, because here we can see this close-up view of this isidia, that here we can see that it is like appearing like coralloid root of gymnosperms. That is, it is very tangled mass, so it increases the surface area of the lichen. That is the first function of isidia. Then at times they are broken off. Each isidium is capable of forming new lichen. Okay, so that is the third mode of reproduction. Okay, first one progressive death and decay, then fragmentation, then isidia. Then the soridia formation. So they are the microscopic lichen propagules. Here we can see this lichen propagule, that is 1 or 2 algal cell is encircled by the fungal hyphae. So such structures are called as soridia. So they are microscopic lichen propagules which are produced in large numbers inside the sori called pustules. Soridia are dispersed by air current. See, this is the algal body, and there we can see it is especially the thallus upper portion of the algal, from the algal zone itself. It is producing this small propagules. Okay, propagules means that part which is acting like the seeds. So this form, the algal cell is encircled by few hyphae, small fungal hyphae, and produces seed-like structures, and it form a sporangium-like structure, and through this these propagules are dispersed by air current. Okay, about that is the fourth mode of reproduction. So Sorridia are dispersed by normally by air currents. So after falling on a suitable substratum, each Sorridium gives rise to a lichen because it has a few algal cells surrounded incompletely by welt or a net of fungus. Okay, so that is the next reproductory method is the sexual reproduction, but actual sexual reproduction is done by the fungal partner. Okay, so when we are studying in detail about the structure of Asnia, we will study about this particular structures. Then this what is the Sorridium, Isidium? Then one more structure is there, that is the cephaloidium. Okay, cephaloidium is like these are also small, hard, dark, gall-like or water-like internal or external swellings on the upper surface of the thallus. Cephaloidium is formed of algal cells enclosed by fungal hyphae. It is like that of the Isidium, but Isidium are very small structures or microscopic structures. But suppose this Isidium like structures are growing somewhat bigger structures, then it is called a cephaloidia. Okay, then normally sexual reproduction is all done by this fungal partner. So we will study in detail when we are studying the this Asnia. Okay, and these are the general characters related to the lichen. Okay, so this general characters may ask for 15 marks question, otherwise we can expect 4 mark questions related to the classification of lichen, then 1 mark questions, what is mycobionte, what is mycobionte, then what is Sorridia, what is cephaloidia, and then like that we can expect questions. Okay, so if you are having any doubt, please ask.